As a parent, I see a lot of us are actually making plans about our baby's personality, about our baby's how it's going to look, what it's going to be like, what it's going to do. We are actually trying to narrate their whole story in our mind, write their personality, decide their career. कि मैं तो अपने बच्चे को क्रिकेटर बनाऊंगा, तो मैं क्रिकेट खेलना शुरू कर देता हूँ, ठीक है. एंड मैं तो अपने बच्चे को सिंगर बनाऊंगी, मैं तो अपने बच्चे को एआई में लेके जाऊंगी, तो रोबोटिक्स एंड कोडिंग सीखना शुरू कर देते हैं. दिस इज़, आई नो फॉर अ फैक्ट, इज़ अ नोबल इंटेंशन. Okay, they are trying to give best of the qualities to their child. Nowadays, lot of parents have made their own plans about their baby according to their experiences, according to their own knowledge, and with the noble intention. कोई अपने बच्चे को कुछ गलत नहीं सिखाना चाहता, सब अपने बच्चे को सब कुछ सिखाना चाहते हैं, एंड विद देयर बेस्ट ऑफ कैपेबिलिटीज़ वो सिखाते भी हैं. अगर वो इंटेंशन भी रख रहे हैं कि मैं अपने बच्चे को ये सिखाऊंगा और वो सिखाऊंगा, तो वो इंटेंशन कहीं ना कहीं गलत नहीं है. बट एट द सेम टाइम डिसाइडिंग अ करियर ऑफ द चाइल्ड कि मैं अपने बच्चे को ये बनाऊंगा, क्योंकि जहाँ तक मैं अवेयर हूँ, जो ऊपर से आत्मा आती है उसका एक खुद का प्लान होता है, एक डिवाइन प्लान होता है, और वो अपने प्लान के अकॉर्डिंग अपना पेरेंट सेलेक्ट करती है. अच्छा, इस घर में मुझे रिसोर्सेज मिलेंगे, इस घर में मुझे ये इन्वायरमेंट मिलेगा, और मेरे प्लान के अकॉर्डिंग आई कैन लीड माई लाइफ. सोल सेलेक्ट करती है कि वो किस घर में जन्म लेने वाली है, एंड वी आर एक्चुअली ब्लेस्ड विद दैट सोल. बट एट द सेम टाइम, अगर ऐसा होता है कि जो सोल ने हमारे घर में जन्म लिया है, उसका सोल प्लान और हमारा प्लान ऑफ मेकिंग माई चाइल्ड दिस और दैट डज नॉट मैच, और वो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट खा जाता है, तब क्या होता है?
I'll give you my perspective on this. Okay, there could be many different perspective, but मेरा perspective जो है वो थोड़ा different है कि हम कोई भी like we are no one to decide baby's future, right? In fact, baby को कौन सा profession choose करना है वो हमको, obviously as parents we have some expectation, but still we should not be doing that. That's a very nice question from yourself. And you also told that what if I have to do this, can I do that or not? Very practically everybody will think and everybody will have this kind of conflict in their mind. But मेरा जो perspective है, we should not only start working on the intellect of the baby, not only on the emotions, but I would say we have to work on 4 dimensions of the child. Let's say physical dimension, very important to have a healthy baby, to have all the organs well formed, है ना, कि बेबी का strong हो, fit हो, कोई बीमारी नहीं हो. That's very important. Then comes the emotional quotient. Emotions are very very important. Now we are seeing na, one of the hero just made suicide, I think. He has a very successful career, but still see his emotions were not well balanced, right? So that's how emotions are also very important. Maybe we can be making lakhs or crores, but what if our emotions are not well balanced? Nowadays, whenever a NEET result comes, whenever 10th standard result comes, many children are going for suicide, right? So this is not a solution. In fact, every parent has a lot of expectations, a lot of things on their children. Now, it's also important to give the right emotional balance for our children right from the womb. I'm just giving some few examples so that I will give better explanation.
Understanding.
Yes. Yeah. Another third important thing is intellectual quotient. See, for example, Ravan was a very huge personality. He had a lot of powers and all of that. But look at his intellect. He was intellectually also very, very good. He had a lot of knowledge. But his emotions were not well balanced. Right? What if a person is very intellectual, but he's creating missiles, or he's creating only something which is not good for the society, right? Then that's also important that we give the right intellect, but that's not getting used for a wrong thing.
Yeah.
Then comes the spiritual quotient, where we give the right emotions for the baby. Also, we teach how to take that emotions to grow spiritually in the life. That's very important.
I mean, that's beautiful. So all you're trying to say is that we need to manifest the baby, we need to curate the baby, considering these 4 questions: physical quotient, emotional quotient, intellectual quotient, and then spiritual quotient. And rest, we have already created a magical baby, we have created the best baby on the planet Earth, and then we can let the baby live on his own.
Correct.
And explore life on his own. Wow, that's wonderful. Okay, what if somebody who is listening to this podcast and has already given birth to a child. Now she is not in the 9th month pregnancy zone. Then, if somebody wants to do something for their baby right now, so is there something that she can do substantially relating to Garbh Sanskar?
Yes. The next one which starts after Garbha Sanskar is the Bala Samskara, or also called as Shishu Samskar. Okay, again, which is there already in our scriptures, which clearly mentions about how we can make our baby have physically well-grown body or intellect. Everything can be still curated even after birth. As we spoke, that 80% of development happens in the womb, but still we have 20% left, right? Which is about 0 to 3 years or 0 to 5 is the time the first 15% starts forming, okay, and the rest 5% is left for the entire life. Now you told that baby is already born, still we can influence the baby by right parenting methods, okay, and we will understand how baby reacts to what we are doing around, right? As I gave an example that when you are scrolling mobile and you want your child to sit and read, which is completely opposite, right? So how we start parenting our child, that's very important. In fact, 0 to 3 years are the most important time where baby starts to have a lot of emotions, gets formed at that time. In Kannada, we have a beautiful saying that which is told that ಮೂರು ವರ್ಷದ ನೆನಪು ನೂರು ವರ್ಷದವರೆಗೆ. That means that whatever you do for 0 to 3 years and after that, that is remembered till the 100th year. That means the first 3 years influence is there for the next 100 years. Okay. In fact, I am fascinated to study a lot about psychology and psychiatry, which is my most favorite subjects. And there it comes the role of psychology, that how a child starts learning. So how baby's memory starts forming, right? And there is a lot of cognitive elements also present in this. So which will decide. So this is a very, in fact, the first 3 years is a time where baby's subconscious mind is also very, very active. And that's the time even that will influence the rest of the other life as well.
Okay, so what you're trying to say is that we need to set example for our child rather than teaching them. That's how they will grab the best out of us.
And also homeschooling is also very, very important. So what we think is, after 3 years anyhow we are sending them to the school, so there they will learn a lot. Why do I have to sit and make them do all of that? But important thing here is what a mother or what a father can teach, nobody else in the world can teach.
Yeah.
So if you sit and do a small activity, maybe playing a game for some time, or making them sit in one place and chanting something, or you talking to the child is also very important. Where a language, there is a center in the brain called as Wernicke's area and Broca's area, which defines the language area of the baby. Okay, when you start talking to the baby, then this language is very much well formed. Now what's happening? We either give them food and also then after that we make them to sleep. Then again when they wake up, we give food, again we make them to sleep. Only 2 things are happening. But apart from that, giving the right parenting skills to the child is something which will change babies not only 3 years but also the entire life.
Well, all of this is very interesting to know, but मैं आपसे पूछना भूल गई कि मैं अपने जो गेस्ट हैं उनकी जर्नी को जनरली हमेशा ब्रेक डाउन करती हैं, तो हमें आपको समझने के लिए आपकी जर्नी को समझना पड़ेगा. एंड टू माई सरप्राइज द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन दैट शुड कम टू वंस माइंड, दैट हाउ अ डॉक्टर who is into yoga and naturopathy have actually turned into a Garbh Sanskar coach. What has been your journey throughout?
Okay, thank you for asking that. In fact, so I was a yoga naturopathy doctor, so where I was treating a lot of lifestyle-based disorders like obesity, diabetes, hypertension, arthritis, and many such kind of lifestyle disorders. And as I was going through this journey of working in big hospitals and all of that, I noted one thing very common, that all women are facing some or the other problem in their entire life, especially when coming to the health aspect. And the influence of their regular things, like for example, a woman's life is always changing, right from her birth till her death. The first milestone is like menarche, when she starts menstruating, then life changes, right? Then she starts to have menstruation and then she becomes pregnant. Marriage is one of the middle milestone. Biologically, then after she has children, then her body goes through a lot of changes. Then again she goes through menopause. That's also a kind of challenge. And then later the old age. If you see all these 3-4 milestones which change her life very, very drastically, right? Pregnancy is one such area. If you take the right care at right time, you can in fact make your life a most beautiful life. At the same time, you can curate, you can give the best to your child as well, right? So that potential only a woman has, not anybody else in this world. Men do not have, right? So men can nurture the woman very well and take care of wife very well, but this carrying baby and giving the right value system is only possible for a woman. And that's why I always call my community mothers as goddess mothers, because they only have that capacity or capability to bring all those good qualities in their children, right? So that's why my community is called as Matru Devo Bhava. Mother is considered as goddess, and that's how we invite all the goddesses to bring the right next generation. And how did I become Garbha Sanskara was that as I was working in many corporate hospitals and I've seen a lot of things, there's a gap between the gynecologist and the pregnant mothers, right? Not every doctor can sit and explain all of these things for hours. That's one of the factor. And nowadays, even if you compare over last 2 to 3 decades on even what current scenario we are going through, the number of cesarean sections have increased very, very drastically. In the last decade only, just it is above 400%, which is increased right now. Okay, and I'm not against to C-sections or normal birth, but here I would want to make it very clear that only if it is necessary. Okay, just 20-30 years back, if you take 100 cases, only 2 to 3 people had C-section. Okay, and right now it has increased to over 50 to 60 or even more than that. So without any much complication, if a mother can deliver, and another important thing is every mother has the potential to give birth to her baby. And now by taking the right care during pregnancy, we can improve that to have a very healthy baby. Okay, here health of the mother does not only depend on the normal birth or C-section, but also on the entire journey of pregnancy, right? And that's where Garbha Sanskar also plays a very, very important role. And also I'm very much fascinated about the yogic philosophy, the Gurukul system of education and all of that, which can be very much well done through Garbha Sanskar, right? And also the value system is one thing which I always aligned to. That can be done through Garbha Sanskar. And also during my entire practice of naturopathy as well, I've seen many women having a lot of miscarriages. A lot of people could not complete their pregnancy, and in between 4th and 5th month they had abortions and all of which. So taking the right care of women, especially preconception period and during pregnancy, can prevent 80 to 90% of complications throughout their pregnancy as well as even after the delivery. Nowadays the postpartum depression number is increasing day by day, right? And taking the right care, especially through Garbha Sanskar and the preconception, all of that can prevent a lot of complications even after the delivery of the child. And that's how I made my mission to at least help 1 million mothers to have happy, healthy and virtuous children. So that's also where we can give a better generation for this wonderful country.
Amazing, ma'am. I mean, that's 1 million women that you want to teach this skill to. Amazing mission. And I really think जब आप बात कर रहे थे कितनी रिस्पॉन्सिबल जॉब है ये. इफ़ आई वर टू जूम आउट एंड लुक that you are actually teaching mothers to create future generations. So you are responsible for the entire generation that is coming ahead on a global level if we see this. And I really feel कि ये जो कला है, ये जो प्रैक्टिस है, ये सिर्फ इंडिया में नहीं, देश विदेश में, बाहर भी हम फैला सकें, बाहर भी लोगों को अवेयर करा सकें. Okay, this is really a powerful skill that we have. And if we intentionally reproduce the younger generation, the new generation that is coming forward, then in a way, I feel this is such a responsible job that you have, because you are in a way responsible for the future generation. So to say, it is right to say that you are responsible for the future generation well-being and intellect and everything, all good things packaged in a baby's form. And मेरे को आपकी बात सुनते सुनते एक ब्रॉडर पर्सपेक्टिव से ऐसा लग रहा था कि ये ग्लोबली कितना ज़्यादा बड़ा मिशन बन सकता है, और ये कितनी रिस्पॉन्सिबल चीज़ है आपके हाथ में, ये कला, ये प्रोसेस, ये स्किल, वट एवर यू कॉल इट। अगर मैं ज़रूर चाहती हूँ कि सिर्फ ये इंडिया में नहीं, बाहर भी, देश विदेश में, इन ऑल अदर कंट्रीज़, वी आर एबल टू मेक पीपल अवेयर दैट देयर एग्जिस्ट अ स्किल इन विच यू कैन इंटेंशनली create better human beings, and by doing that we will be able to create better human race for the future, and on a global level, on a community level, we all will be able to reach towards the golden age. And if you were to say कि 100 or 200 years later we will have a generation which will be intentionally reproduced and they all will be amazing, मतलब सोच के ही मज़ा आ रहा है मुझे तो ये सोच के कि इसका ग्लोबल लेवल इम्पैक्ट कितना ज़्यादा होने वाला है. दिस इज़ अमेजिंग, दिस इज़ पावरफुल, दिस वॉज अ बल्ब ऑन मोमेंट फॉर मी.
In fact, to add a point to what you are talking about, I'm just a channel to spread this wonderful knowledge to everyone. And another point is that they should not be limited only for the pregnant mothers. They should be learning during pregnancy. They should be inculcated in every subjects possible. Should be at least our basic things should be inculcated in the studies. What students study right now, at least a small part in their curriculum, so that they understand the value of creating a human. That's very important right now. I always think that why are we learning trigonometry and algebra so much specifically in our schools, even if you don't understand or you understand, that does not matter actually right now, isn't it? But these life skills are very important that every child should learn so that they grow up to be responsible human being, and that's how they respect other people as well, right?
This was my next question to you, that on a community level, if you were to answer, what are the changes that are required as a community? And you already answered that, because मैं already list बनाकर बैठी थी उन skills की कि schools में ये वाले skills तो सिखाने ही जाने चाहिए. टैक्सेशन सिखाना चाहिए, इंश्योरेंस सिखानी चाहिए, लाइफ स्किल्स सिखाने चाहिए, जब आप किसी जगह पे फंस जाओ सेल्फ डिफेंस सिखाना चाहिए, कुकिंग सिखाने चाहिए, नो. ऑल दी स्किल्स आई वॉज नोटिंग डाउन इन द बैक ऑफ माई माइंड कि स्कूल्स में सिखाना चाहिए. एंड देन वन स्किल गॉट एडिड, that when you will teach the kids who are actually in this age to grab this knowledge, probably 11th 12th, and when you introduce this subject to the entire race, the entire community, that's how easily it will get imbibed in them, and then in future they will reproduce and curate amazing babies. So I mean, that's amazing answer. I also think कि स्कूल में तो सिखाना ही चाहिए, बट इन अ वे इफ़ वी कैन इंक्लूड दिस इन यूनिवर्सिटीज़ और इन ऑफिसेज, प्रॉब्ली वी कैन डू वर्कशॉप्स in the companies, like this needs to be taught.
Right.
ऑल राइट दोस्तों, आप देख रहे हैं इंडियाज़ फर्स्ट मैजिकल पॉडकास्ट होकस फोकस विद आंचल, और ऐसे ही अपनी नॉलेज को अपग्रेड करने के लिए, मोटिवेट होने के लिए और मैजिक से एंटरटेन होने के लिए देखिए हमारा चैनल होकस फोकस विद आंचल.